Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JBS. I'm back here for a first reaction to brand new Flash episode. This is actually a crossover with the Arrow and the Flash. The name of this episode is Legend of Today. This is going to be a non-spoiler, just our first reaction of this episode. This is episode 8 of season 2 of the Flash. I will admit, this episode seemed more geared with Arrow, more so than it did with the Flash. I mean, it dealt with a lot of different things that I really did like. The realization of Cisco's relationship with his new love interest takes an interesting turn. Come to find out, like, her backstory, all in this episode, this is all forming around Cisco's new girlfriend by the name of Kendra. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with their love story, but it's like when they actually finally go and meet up with Team Arrow, and the reason why they have to meet up with Team Arrow, it's really interesting to see Cisco really territorial and wanted to protect her, wanted to be there for her, but it really is not quite meshing. And it makes for good drama for certain reasons, and not just that. Like, Cisco is awesome. Like, he does some really good one-liners in this episode, but it was a perfect blend. Like, it's weird, but this episode showed me that honestly they could have just one show and get away with it. Reason why I say that is because they were able to fit and merge the stuff that was going on with Oliver, with Damien Dark, and the team Oliver. They were going on with the different issues that the group was having, specifically with Speedy, when one thing she does that was really questionable. And at the same exact time, like, their realization of mysticism, when they just dealt with the situation with John Constantine. Like, even Barry alluded in this episode, he's like, I'm not prepared for the enemy that we're facing. And one of the enemies in this one, Vandal Savage, which I'm not going to explain who his backstory is, but he's going to play a very big role in Legends of Tomorrow, as well as the next 2 episodes. Matter of fact, these 2 episodes are really just pushing forward Legends of Tomorrow. But one thing I can say about this episode, like everything I just touched on with that, they, on top of that, were able to deal with the situation with Jay Garrick and Harrison Wells, situation with Caitlin, and trying to figure out, like, why is Barry, like, so messed up? Is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? And Barry as well, like, his inability to be able to not just get over what happened to him with Zoom, but his inability to believe that he can do anything about it. Like, he feels like he's just kind of stuck in limbo, and literally with the speed and with the subconscious, like, that's what's going on. And so they were able to pull it off really well in this episode. The only thing that they didn't touch on was Iris. Iris was in this episode, so was Joe. Joe had a lot more FaceTime because he was in the limelight. Iris, I feel like this whole season, like, they just pushed this girl to the side. I mean, I'm not knocking that, but it's like, she's the main love interest. I mean, they touched on it when this situation went on with her mother, and even with Joe letting her know with the whole situation with that. And at the same time, she's playing and acting each time she's in a scene. I've actually liked her more this season than I have last season, but she's just not, in my opinion, getting a lot more FaceTime. But it's to be accepted because, like I said, Barry's got his own love interest right now with Patty, and Patty does something really questionable in this episode, and I was like, come on, Patty, really? It kind of bugged me out what she did, but it turned out really well because a special guest came in that I didn't see coming that was able to help the situation out. And it was, like I said, I know I'm kind of alluding to a lot. I'm going to go riff on that more with my spoiler-filled review, but hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. I think that this episode, I give it a 9 out of 10. I think that they merged it so well. It felt at times more like an Arrow-driven, especially the last sequence. The last sequence gave me chills, more so than when Team Arrow was fighting Vandal Savage. Now, I admit, like, Team Arrow was doing their thing. The choreography was on point. The fight sequence was on point. Vandal Savage is a G. I'll leave it at that. But like I said, they touched on a lot in a short amount of time. If this was like a 2-hour episode, I mean, it would have been even better. But for just the 1 hour that they had, I thought they did an amazing job. It made me believe, like, man, they could just make these 2 shows one, you know, and get away with it. It's really obvious that they have great chemistry together, as well as they riff well as far as their teams as far as the story arc, and at the same time the writers, they seem like they work mesh well together as well. So I really enjoy this crossover. I give it a 9 out of 10. I'm hoping tomorrow's episode is going to be even better. So hopefully you check out that reaction. But I'm about to go into the spoiler review right now. So hopefully y'all enjoyed my reaction to The Legends of Today. I'm not sure what the episode's tomorrow's going to be. But anyway, deuces everybody. Peace.